Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine a day of pure celebration. Oh, a wedding day filled with joy and promise, suddenly plunging into absolute horror.
Right.
A legendary martial artist revered across the land found brutally murdered headless, no less right on this auspicious occasion.
It's hard to even picture.
How does such an unthinkable tragedy unfold, and what dark secrets lie beneath such a public display of power and terror? This isn't just a story, it's a portal into a world where honor, vengeance, and hidden powers clash.
Hmm.
Welcome, dear listener, to the deep dive. Our mission, as always, is to cut through the noise, to take a stack of incredible sources, articles, research, our own notes, and extract the most important nuggets of knowledge or insights.
Yeah, sort of distill it down.
Think of it as your shortcut to being truly well-informed, with surprising facts and just enough humor to keep you hooked.
Hopefully.
Today's deep dive is custom-tailored just for you, delving into a narrative that promises to reveal much more than just a mystery.
And what a narrative it is. Today we're drawing directly from the rich, intricate tapestry of Blade and Coffin, The Quest for Vengeance.
A classic.
Oh, absolutely. This isn't just a simple tale. It's a profound wuxia narrative, a classic of the genre, detailing a relentless quest for justice and revenge. It pulls us deep into a world brimming with martial arts prowess, intricate conspiracies that weave through the highest echelons of power, and deep philosophical undercurrents that challenge perceptions of strength, weakness, and destiny.
And these sources, you supplied these fascinating excerpts, which delve into some of the most pivotal moments.
That's right. And our mission as your guides is to navigate the most important and intriguing nuggets within to help you understand the true depth of this universe and extract those aha moments that stick with you long after.
Our mission today is to truly immerse ourselves in this narrative, meticulously unraveling the perplexing murder of Zhao Jian, the very inciting incident that sets everything in motion.
The catalyst.
Exactly. From there, we'll follow the winding, dangerous path of the subsequent investigation, witness the unveiling of a complex web of relationships and hidden powers that operate beneath the surface of this martial world.
There's always something hidden, isn't there?
Always. And ultimately understand the deep motivations driving our protagonist's quest for vengeance. It's a journey filled with shocking twists and profound insights. Let's get ready. The unthinkable crime. The Headless Dragon Swordsman. Our journey begins with a truly shocking event, one that sends ripples of terror and confusion across the land. The victim, Zhao Jian, wasn't just anyone. He was known far and wide as the Golden Dragon Swordsman, a name synonymous with unparalleled skill and prestige.
A legend, really.
More than that, he was one of the formidable three giants of Defeng Hall, a prominent and revered martial arts sect, a pillar of the martial world's order.
So a major figure, politically important too.
Definitely. And the setting for his gruesome murder. His only son's wedding day, specifically March 27th, a day meticulously chosen as auspicious for all matters.
Wow.
Can you imagine the sheer horror? A day consecrated for joy, for new beginnings and familial unity, suddenly consumed by such an act of extreme violence.
What's truly fascinating and deeply disturbing here is the stark irony and tragic contrast of this event. A day meant for pure celebration, for the forging of new bonds and the promise of a bright future, is irrevocably stained by an act of extreme, calculated violence.
Calculated is the word.
Yeah. The fact that the wedding was on an auspicious day isn't merely a quaint cultural detail. It highlights the incredibly public and symbolic nature of the event. But it also, chillingly, underscores the cold, almost theatrical calculation of the killer. As the source so starkly puts it, it was a day suitable for marriage and also for murder.
Chilling.
This isn't just a crime of passion. It's a deliberate, almost ritualistic display of power and terror, designed to send a very specific, terrifying message to the entire martial world, to make an example of someone so prominent on such a significant day.
And the impact, as you can imagine, was immediate and absolutely widespread. Zhao Jian wasn't some obscure figure from a backwater village. His fame was immense, almost mythical. The source explicitly tells us. Even those who didn't recognize or hadn't met Zhao Jian had at least heard his name. He was a legend in his own lifetime.
Right, so everyone knew who he was.
This wasn't just a personal tragedy for the Zhao family, devastating as it was. It was a public sensation, a seismic shockwave that reverberated throughout the entire martial arts world.
The whole Jiang Hu would have been buzzing.
Exactly. News of his death, and especially the grotesque detail of his decapitation, spread like wildfire, causing widespread disbelief and, crucially, sparking a single, terrifying question that consumed everyone's thoughts.
Indeed, that question was, in its stark simplicity, who is the murderer? But here's where it gets truly chilling and reveals the immense power behind this crime.
Yeah.
Despite the widespread discussion and palpable disbelief, no one dared to openly speculate, let alone assert an answer publicly.
Really? Why not?
If we connect this to the bigger picture of this wuxia world, this widespread silence wasn't just about fear of being wrong or offending someone. It was about the deep-seated, pervasive terror that the killer's power inspired.
Okay.
The implication, though unstated, hung in the air like a shroud. If someone said a wrong word, this person too might lose their head in the middle of the night.
Wow. So sheer terror kept everyone quiet.
Precisely. This illustrates an immense, ruthless influence that extended even to the suppression of free speech and inquiry. It paints a vivid, terrifying picture of a figure who operates with absolute impunity, capable of silencing anyone who gets too close to the truth, demonstrating a reach far beyond the crime scene itself.
So, with public answers impossible, because any public discourse was immediately stifled by sheer terror, the focus naturally shifted to those closest to the victim who might hold crucial clues.
Makes sense.
And this is precisely where the mystery deepens and takes an even more sinister turn. Zhao Jian's death occurred within his own family's compound, Harmony Wind Manor, specifically in a place described as his secret chamber.
A secret chamber. Always intriguing.
And how secret was it, you ask? The source emphasizes it was absolutely secret, so much so that even his own daughter didn't know about it.
Not even his own daughter. That's extremely private.
That's an incredible level of privacy. And here's the kicker, the detail that truly narrows the scope. Only 3 individuals, besides Zhao Jian himself, were ever known to have entered this highly restricted, utterly private space.
Only 3? Who were they?
These were Xikong Xiaofeng, Shengwan Ren, and Zhao Wuji, Zhao Jian's only son.
This extreme exclusivity immediately and dramatically narrows the pool of suspects, doesn't it?
Totally.
This isn't a random attack by an unknown assassin who somehow infiltrated a heavily guarded manor. No, this screams inside job.
Definitely feels like it.
It unequivocally points to a profound act of betrayal by someone intimately trusted by Zhao Jin, someone who had unparalleled access. The fact that this room was absolute secret to even his own daughter underscores the depth of the mystery and the chilling implication that the killer was someone completely beyond suspicion, at least in Zhao Jian's eyes. This makes the betrayal even more visceral, more personal, more devastating. It forces you to question the very nature of trust in this martial world.
And with such a tightly controlled group of potential culprits, it became imperative to scrutinize these 3 individuals more closely. The 3 principal suspects were, as we've mentioned, Xikong Xiaofeng, Shengwan Ren, and Zhao Wuji.
Right, the 3 with access.
However, the general consensus within the martial arts community almost immediately dismissed Zhao Wuji, the victim's son. The prevailing opinion was firm, unequivocal. He certainly wouldn't be the murderer, absolutely not.
You wouldn't think a son would kill his own father, especially not a revered one like Zhao Jin. It goes against, well, everything.
Right. Their reasoning was simple. A son would not murder his own revered father.
Which, of course, left Xikong Xiaofeng and Shangwan Ren as the most plausible candidates.
The other 2 giants?
Exactly. The prevailing opinion among martial artists was that the killer had to be someone not only intimately familiar with Zhao Jian, but someone against whom he harbored no guard against.
Someone he let his guard down around completely.
Precisely. This wasn't just about proximity, it was about absolute trust, an open vulnerability that the killer ruthlessly exploited. Furthermore, the killer must possess very high martial arts and extremely fast moves.
Why the emphasis on skill?
Well, because Zhao Jian himself was no pushover. He wasn't some easy target.
Right, he was a legend.
He had established a legendary reputation before the age of 20, having notably slain the fearsome Chongyan tiger at just 17. Within 3 short years, he had eliminated the notorious 7 heroes of Guanzhong and the 4 dragons of Yellow River, clearing entire regions of dangerous figures.
Wow, okay, so he was seriously skilled.
Oh yeah. He had even defeated highly renowned swordsmen like Master Xiao Dao and Tao Zhongshan. He was a force of nature. And to underscore the precision of the crime, Dr. Lu Tong, a famous physician who examined Zhao Jian, confirmed that the murder weapon was unequivocally a sword.
A sword.
Wielded with a single, precise stroke that cleanly severed the head.
One stroke. against a master like that.
Exactly. Which means the killer's skill had to be immense. And both Sikong Xiaofeng and Shang Wanren, it was widely acknowledged, were first-grade sword masters.
So they both had the skill, the access, and maybe the motive.
Potentially. Only someone with immense, almost inhuman skill and speed could have pulled off such a feat against a legend like Zhao Jian. It paints a picture of a killer at the absolute pinnacle of their art, making the crime all the more terrifying.
So while public opinion, swayed by reputation and common assumptions, offered limited clarity, the discreet whispers in private began to reveal a far more unsettling picture, adding layers of specific, chilling suspicion to our primary candidates.
Things are rarely what they seem on the surface.
The stage was set for a deeper investigation, one that would unravel long-held secrets. 2. Unraveling the web. Secrets, poisons, and suspicions.
Okay, let's unpack those whispers. Our first prime suspect, Sikong Xiaofan.
The strategist, right.
That's him. Publicly, he was noted as the last person to arrive at Harmony Wind Manor, doing so on the evening of March 27th, the very day of the murder.
Which is a bit late for a close friend attending a wedding.
Exactly. It was curious. However, private investigations later revealed a significant discrepancy that turned curiosity into intense suspicion. He had actually departed from baiting on March 25th.
Okay, wait. Baiting to Harmony Wind Manor. How long should that take?
Based on the distances and typical travel speed, he should have reached Harmony Wind Manor by the afternoon of March 26th at the very latest.
So there's a missing day and a half.
Exactly. His whereabouts during this crucial day and a half remained entirely unknown and crucially unexplained. That's a huge gap.
And this timeline discrepancy immediately made him a prime suspect, creating a large, suspicious window of opportunity during which his actions were unaccounted for.
Definitely raises questions.
What's even more intriguing and almost unsettling is his outwardly calm and composed demeanor throughout the immediate aftermath and his steadfast refusal to offer any self-defense or explanation.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? Most people would be protesting their innocence or explaining themselves.
Right. While some might see this as virtuous stoicism, a sign of inner strength, it could ironically also be interpreted as a sign of profound guilt or an almost unnatural degree of self-control. It's almost a mocking calm in the face of such tragedy, a stillness that doesn't quite fit the gravity of the situation.
Indeed. The source subtly hints with a touch of sarcasm that such cultivation, a profound inner composure, often cited as his true strength rather than just his martial arts skill.
His famous calm.
Right. That it might, in fact, stem from an unusually profound internal energy, allowing him to maintain such an unshakable demeanor even under the duress of suspicion. This raises the critical question of whether his stillness was a sign of innocence or masterful deception.
A poker face of the highest order.
Could be. So while Sikong Xiaofeng's unexplained movements cast a long shadow of doubt, Shang Wenren's own behavior and circumstances also drew significant quiet scrutiny, perhaps even more chilling in their implications.
And what about Shang Guanren, the second strong suspect, the life and death friend?
Yes. On the afternoon of March 27th, the very day of the murder, he was the only person consistently in Zhao Jian's company.
Okay, that's close proximity.
Very close. During the critical time of the murder, he was purportedly drunk and deeply asleep in his designated guest room.
Purportedly? That sounds convenient.
Extremely. His old house steward, Zhao Biao, who was also a distant relative, a familiar face in the household, seemingly corroborated his alibi, confirming his presence and even attesting to his distinctive snoring, which we are told many people had heard.
The snoring defense. From what we know about the martial world and how often deception plays a role, how credible is an alibi like that, especially given the stakes of a master's murder?
That's a powerful question, and the answer is not very. I mean, maybe he was drunk, but the timing,
Right.
What's truly fascinating and deeply suspicious, here is Shang Guanren's absolute silence throughout the entire investigation. He spoke not a single word, not a protest, not a denial, nothing.
Total silence from a best friend.
Exactly. This was highly unusual and deeply suspicious for someone so intimately involved, especially for a man described as a life-and-death friend of Zhao Jian. His utter lack of explanation for his drunken state at such a pivotal moment raised significant red flags.
So it wasn't grief-stricken silence.
Well, some might interpret his silence as stoicism or profound grief, sure. But in a crisis of this magnitude, for someone so close, it can also signify the chilling quiet of guilt, a calculated refusal to incriminate oneself. The old martial arts adage, whoever leaves has greater suspicion, explains why neither Shangguan Ren nor Xikong Zhaofeng departed, staying put rather than fleeing.
Okay, so staying doesn't mean innocence.
Not at all. It implies that their continued presence did not necessarily clear their names, it merely shifted the nature of their suspicion. Furthermore, that seemingly solid confirmation of his alibi by Zhao Biao, an insider.
The snoring steward.
Right. That would later unravel to be critically questionable, as we'll see. As the traditional first 7 days of mourning, a period of intense grief, passed without resolution, the family's despair deepened, but a crucial and horrifying discovery was about to break the stalemate.
While the martial world spun with theories and the investigation stalled, Zhao Jian's son, Zhao Wuji, was trapped in a private hell, a profound state of catatonic grief.
Just completely shut down.
For an agonizing 7 days following his father's murder, Zhao Wuji neither shed a single tear, nor consumed a grain of rice, nor drank a drop of water. His physical state deteriorated drastically. His lips and skin became severely cracked, his eyes sunken.
Oh, terrible.
And his once healthy, ruddy complexion turned deathly white like paper. He became rigid, numb, and entirely unresponsive to any attempts at comfort, even from his devoted wife, Wei Fengyang. It was a complete shutdown.
This was far beyond mere sadness or normal mourning. It represented a profound, almost catatonic state of shock and grief that bordered on extreme self-destruction.
It sounds like it.
It powerfully illustrated the immeasurable depth of his bond with his father and the immense unbearable trauma inflicted by the murder. The poignant detail of Wei Fengyang's own tears having dried up underscores the shared despair and profound helplessness that had enveloped the entire household, reflecting the overwhelming, suffocating nature of their collective sorrow.
A house paralyzed by grief.
Absolutely. Crucially, this intense and all-consuming grief serves as a poignant foreshadowing of his singular, unwavering desire for vengeance, which would soon erupt and become the driving force of his existence. The pervasive stagnation in the murder investigation was suddenly shattered by an unexpected and ultimately horrifying source that would point the finger definitively.
And that source came from an unlikely place, from the meticulous actions of a loyal servant. Old Jiang, the general manager of the household, a man doubly devoted to the Zhao family.
Right, you need loyal people like that.
Definitely. Under the guise of merely sweeping, he meticulously searched Shangguan Ren's room immediately after his departure. And there, in a subtle yet pivotal discovery, he found it. A shallow half-cup of brownish-yellow powder, carefully scraped from beneath the table and out of its crevices.
Just some dust, seemingly.
A small detail, but one that would crack the entire case open.
So what does this all mean? The unearthed powder emitted a peculiar fragrance. Old Chen, the highly perceptive banquet steward renowned for his keen sense of smell, definitively identified its components as lime, musk, and dragonhorn.
Lime, musk, dragonhorn. What are those used for?
Well, Xikong Xiaofeng, upon examining the powder, confirmed Old Chen's astute identification, highlighting his vast knowledge even in non-martial matters. These particular substances are not merely expensive fragrant materials or common medicinal components. They're also commonly utilized in traditional Chinese medicine and, far more chillingly, for purposes of preservation to prevent decay, to maintain integrity.
Preservation.
Exactly. Lime, specifically, is a well-known desiccant used to absorb moisture.
Okay, wait. Preservation. So the horrifying implication quickly became clear, chilling them to the bone. Zhao Jian's own coffin also contained these very same 3 items, specifically used to preserve his body's integrity within the coffin.
Oh my God.
The undeniable, terrifying conclusion that could be drawn was that someone was meticulously preserving Zhao Jian's severed head.
No. They took the head and preserved it.
Not only was he decapitated, but the murderer had taken his head and was preserving it, perhaps as a macabre trophy, perhaps for some unknown, darker purpose. It suggests a level of premeditation and psychological horror that is almost unfathomable.
The source powerfully underscores the sheer terror and chilling gravity of this realization, detailing the visceral reactions of those present. Old Yang's trembling hands and voice, combined with the sudden stark paleness that washed over Qin's face, and even Xikong Xiaofeng's visibly changed, grim expression.
I can only imagine.
This damning evidence pointed directly and unequivocally to Shangguan Ren. This was no longer just suspicion, it was a clear fingerprint. But the plot, as you might expect in a wuxia epic, was about to thicken dramatically with a brutal act of silencing that would reveal an even larger conspiracy.
Exactly. The implications of that powder were so profound that immediate action was taken. Immediately after the discovery, Xikong Xiaofeng dispatched 12 of the Zhao household's elite guards, their best men, to find and bring back Zhao Biao.
The steward with the alibi.
Right, the snoring steward. They desperately needed to reconfirm that alibi, or perhaps discover if it was coerced or false. But the guards returned, not with a walking Zhao Biao, but carrying his lifeless body on a door panel.
Oh no. Silenced.
His entire body was black and swollen, his face twisted and unrecognizable, and he died moments after being brought before Sikong Shefeng, gasping for breath. A brutal, unmistakable message.
This raises an important question. What killed him? Zhao Biao's cause of death was identified as a small, thorn-like hidden weapon embedded in his left breast.
A hidden weapon, fast and deadly.
Very. The wound itself didn't bleed, but was instead black with decay and putrefaction, radiating an unnatural putridity. Even merely touching the wound with a blade caused the blade to blacken instantly from the potent toxin, demonstrating its sheer potency.
That's some serious poison.
Oh yeah. Sikong Xiaofeng, with his extensive knowledge of the martial world and its deadliest secrets, immediately recognized the weapon. It was the unique, deadly, poisonous tribulus.
No, this tribulus.
Poisonous tribulus. The signature hidden weapon of the Tang family of Sichuan, infamous for its sight-to-throat sealing poison, a technique perfected and feared for over 160 years. This wasn't just a random assassin. This was a highly specialized known killer.
The Tang family from Sichuan. And this revelation was incredibly alarming, sending a jolt of new fear through everyone. The Tang family, known for their insidious poisons and hidden weapons, had recently formed a marriage alliance with Thunderbolt Hall.
Thunderbolt Hall.
Yeah.
They use firearms, right? Unique ones.
Exactly. A powerful and feared sect renowned for its mastery of unique firearms. The immediate question was terrifying. How did a weapon from their arsenal appear within Harmony Wind Manor, a place supposedly secure?
So it wasn't just Shang Guanren acting alone.
It seemed not. This discovery unequivocally pointed to a much larger, more sinister, and deeply rooted conspiracy, one that extended far beyond a personal vendetta. Xian Qin's reaction, biting her lip until it bled, and the visible terror in the eyes of the guards who brought Zhao Biao in, powerfully highlighted the extreme danger and the shocking, far-reaching implications of this new development.
It connects Shang Guanren to this really dangerous alliance.
The terrifying question of how the Tang family could be involved was almost immediately answered by a nervous young servant who had a crucial piece of the puzzle.
A hesitant young family guard, whose mother, conveniently, was from Sichuan, finally mustered the courage to share a critical observation he'd been holding on to.
What did he see?
He'd overheard one of Shang Guanren's personal attendants speaking in the Sichuan dialect.
Aha!
Furthermore, this attendant consistently wore a white cloth wrapped around his head at night, a distinct custom among Sichuanese people to honor Zhuge Wuhu, a historical figure.
A cultural marker.
Definitely. Despite this telltale sign, the attendant vehemently denied being from Sichuan when confronted by the young guard and nearly came to blows over the issue, fiercely protecting his secret.
So he was hiding his origins. This provided undeniable, concrete evidence directly linking Shang Guanren to the Tang family. The attendant's deliberate disguise and his fierce refusal to admit his regional origin made him an intensely suspicious figure, suggesting a covert operation, a planted spy.
Yeah, it seems pretty clear now.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it becomes devastatingly clear. Shang Guanren almost certainly bribed Zhao Biao to provide a false alibi for his drunkenness during the murder.
Right.
And then, fearing Zhao Biao would crack under pressure, or perhaps even confess, Shang Guanren used a Tang family assassin, his own attendant, to brutally silence him.
Ruthless.
This revealed Shang Guanren's ruthless efficiency and elaborate, premeditated planning, demonstrating a killer who left nothing to chance and would eliminate any loose ends, no matter how close to him.
The terrifying realization spread like wildfire among the family and their closest allies. Had Shang Guanren already contacted the Tang family of Sichuan and Thunderbolt Hall? Did he kill Zhao Jian to curry favor with them, to solidify a new, dangerous alliance?
That changes everything, doesn't it?
Absolutely. These questions, though whispered in the deepest corners of the manor, were too frightening to contemplate openly, too dangerous to even voice aloud. This escalated the situation dramatically from a mere murder investigation to a massive political and power play within the entire martial arts world. The prior alliance between the Tang family and Thunderbolt Hall was already a major concern for Sikong Xiaofeng, who rightly worried about their combined power of unique firearms and poisons, a terrifying synergy.
Poison and guns. A bad combo.
A deadly combo. Sheng Wanren's apparent involvement elevated the conspiracy to an unprecedented level of danger and betrayal, suggesting a potential shift in the balance of power across the entire land. Sicong Xiaofeng's reaction, clenched fists and beads of cold sweat, vividly demonstrated the overwhelming gravity of this revelation.
He knew how bad this was.
Oh, yeah. The idea was so utterly terrifying that no one dared to speak it or even think it, highlighting the profound fear that gripped them, a fear of a shadow war on the horizon. But this very fear, these horrifying revelations, spurred Zhao Wuji from his catatonic grief into immediate, impulsive, and desperate action.
The grief turned to rage. 3. The Vengeful Crusade. To Shangguan Fortress. Suddenly, in a dramatic shift, Zhao Wuji, who had been in that catatonic state of grief for 7 days, sprang to life. He had fully comprehended the killer's identity, the depth of the betrayal.
The truth hit him.
Fueled by a raw, overwhelming burst of hatred for Shang Wanren, he impulsively rushed out, intending to seek immediate, bloody vengeance. Despite his profound physical weakness, this last desperate reserve of hatred gave him a surge of almost superhuman energy.
Adrenaline and fury.
However, Sicong Xiaoming, ever the strategist, with a mere light touch, easily blocked his path, causing Zhao Wuji to collapse from exhaustion, his body betraying his furious will.
This pivotal moment starkly contrasts Zhao Wuji's raw, unbridled emotional drive with Sicong Xiaofeng's measured strategic mindset.
Head versus heart.
Exactly. Sicong Xiaofeng, while acknowledging his own deep desire for retribution for his fallen friend, emphasized the critical need for a guaranteed strike, a calculated, precise approach rather than a suicidal charge born of pure emotion.
Smart. Don't just rush in blind.
Zhao Wuji's bloodshot eyes, described as resembling those of a wounded beast, powerfully conveyed his primal, almost animalistic drive for revenge, a blind fury. Sicong Xiaofeng's direct words, "I cannot let you go to your death," underscore the immense danger and the absolute necessity for a more pragmatic, thought-out path, even when facing such overwhelming grief and anger.
And despite Sicong Xiaofeng's caution, the entire Zhao family, from the highest-ranking retainers to the lowliest guards, shared Zhao Wuji's fierce and immediate resolve, demanding action, demanding retribution.
Loyalty runs deep in these households.
Under the impassioned leadership of Old Zhang, the loyal general manager who had discovered the crucial powder, a formidable group of 136 household guards quickly assembled in the courtyard before the morning hall.
1 in 36, that's a decent force.
These were no ordinary men. At least half of them possessed over 10 years of rigorous martial arts training, hardened veterans of various conflicts, and they were all fully prepared, armed to the teeth with strong bows, crossbows, long spears, and sharp daggers.
Ready for war.
Old Zhang himself, a man of great loyalty and conviction, knelt before Sicong Xiaofeng, hitting his head against the ground until blood flowed, desperately pleading for permission to lead them in immediate revenge, crying, "Violence with violence, blood for blood."
Wow, that's intense dedication. This scene powerfully demonstrates the unwavering loyalty and the potent collective desire for retribution that permeated the Zhao family, overriding any practical considerations of overwhelming odds.
They weren't thinking about survival, just justice.
It effectively forced Sicong Xiaofeng, who typically never approved of violence as a first resort and preferred strategic solutions, to reluctantly concede to their unified will, to their righteous fury. The desperate plea to use violence with violence, blood for blood, highlights the harsh and often brutal realities of the martial world, where personal vendettas frequently escalate into large-scale, bloody conflicts driven by honor and the need for justice, often outside the bounds of conventional law. This was a family ready to sacrifice everything.
On a dangerous path. As they prepared for what could be a suicidal attack, Sicong Xiaofeng reflected on the formidable reputation of their adversary, Shang Wanren, a man whose skills were legendary and terrifying.
He knew exactly who they were up against.
What's truly fascinating here is how much Sicong Xiaofeng, Zhao Jian's sworn brother, knew about Shang Wanren. He had fought alongside him for many, many years, averaging 30 joint battles annually and participating in at least 200 major and minor engagements before the establishment of Dufeng Hall.
So they were comrades before this betrayal.
Exactly. This gave him an intimate, almost instinctual knowledge of Shang Wanren's sword skills, his martial arts prowess, his ruthless efficiency in combat, and his unerring accuracy. Shang Wanren's strikes, he knew, were almost always fatal, with very few misses.
A deadly opponent.
And his resilience, extraordinary. He possessed an immense capacity to endure immense pain, likened to a desert lizard, capable of surviving in the harshest conditions, and the tenacity of a camel, able to endure 6 broken ribs without uttering a single sound. He was not just skilled, he was inhumanly durable.
The detailed exposition of Shang Guanren's formidable abilities establishes him as an almost insurmountable opponent, making the current expedition, driven by raw grief and fury, seem less like a calculated strike and more like a desperate, almost suicidal mission driven purely by emotion.
It seems incredibly risky.
It starkly highlights the vast gap between Zhao Wuji's raw, untrained desire for revenge and the practical realities of engaging such a master. Yun Feiyang, the revered founder of Dafeng Hall, famously said, "Anyone who has Shang Guanren as an enemy will surely lose sleep at night."
High praise in a terrifying way.
And Yun Feiyang's insight regarding Xikong Xiaofeng himself, he never fights without certainty of victory, implicitly raises the critical question of whether this particular attack, driven by emotion rather than absolute certainty, could truly succeed. So despite the seemingly impossible odds, a desperate plan began to take shape, one that relied on strategy as much as raw courage, hoping to exploit any weakness.
And the plan came from an unexpected yet utterly dedicated source, Old Zhang.
The general manager again. He's crucial.
Despite suffering from chronic rheumatism, a painful condition that hindered his own mobility and made even simple movements difficult, he presented a meticulously thought-out plan, demonstrating his strategic mind was sharp as any blade.
Impressive, despite his pain.
He reasoned that Shangguan Fortress, Shangguan Ren's stronghold, though heavily guarded, would not treat Xikong Xiaofeng as an outsider. Given their long history, Shangguan Ren would certainly not dare to stop him and would, out of martial courtesy, personally come out to greet him.
Using etiquette as a weapon. Clever.
This was the critical weakness they planned to exploit.
This capture the king first strategy was a logical and indeed desperate approach for a force significantly outnumbered 136 attackers versus 300-plus men within Shangguan Fortress, including specially trained death warriors, elite fighters loyal to death.
Death warriors. Sounds ominous.
Oh, they are. The plan relied heavily on the element of surprise and Shangguan Ren's adherence to traditional martial etiquette, hoping he wouldn't expect an immediate direct assault on his person during a greeting.
How would the attack work?
The coordinated attack would involve Zhao Wuji striking from the front despite his weakness, while Xikong Xiaofeng and Qian Ken flanked Shangguan Ren from both sides. Simultaneously, Old Jiang and a dedicated team would work to isolate Shangguan Ren's personal followers.
A multi-pronged assault.
Old Jiang articulated the desperate alternative with grim resolve. If he doesn't come out, then we'll just have to charge in and fight them to the death. His conviction that Shangguan Ren's numerous men may have many men, but not all of them are willing to fight to the death, revealed a shrewd understanding of psychological warfare.
Interesting point. Numbers aren't everything if morale is low.
Exactly. Suggesting that sheer numbers alone do not guarantee unwavering resolve when faced with a determined suicidal attack. The poignant detail of Old Jiang enduring the discomfort of travel due to his rheumatism, coupled with his unwavering loyalty and meticulous planning, added a deep human dimension to the impending desperate confrontation.
You really feel for these guys.
However, just as their desperate plans solidified, as they prepared to launch their attack, fate intervened in a devastating and utterly unexpected manner.
And fate did indeed intervene, with a cruelty that rivaled the murder itself. As the Avengers approached their target, their spirits perhaps buoyed by the plan, they witnessed a terrifying sight on the horizon. A vast fire burning in the distance, so intense that it turned half the sky crimson, illuminating the dark landscape with an apocalyptic glow.
A bad omen.
It was a premonition of despair. Upon reaching their destination, their hopes were utterly dashed. Shangguan Fortress was utterly reduced to charred earth, a desolate wasteland of ashes and ruin.
No, he burned it down.
With no trace of bodies or any clues remaining. Shangguan Ren and his entire household, numbering over 400 people, including women and children, had completely vanished without a trace, as if they had completely disappeared from the face of the earth.
400 people vanished. How is that even possible?
The very ground their vengeance sought had been erased.
What's truly fascinating and profoundly unsettling, here's the sheer ruthlessness and foresight this reveals about Shangguan Ren. This shocking and absolute twist in the narrative was profoundly unsettling, shattering any hope of immediate retribution.
Total devastation.
His ability to not only destroy all evidence but also orchestrate the disappearance of such a large group of over 400 individuals, leaving absolutely no trail, underscored his unparalleled cunning and ruthless efficiency. Xikong Xiaofeng's chilling conclusion resonated with a grim finality. This person's baseness, shamelessness, treachery, and viciousness are beyond admiration and fear.
Beyond fear, that says a lot.
The disappearance of over 400 individuals without a single trace suggested an almost supernatural feat of logistics and evasion, implying extraordinary planning, vast resources, or perhaps even access to hidden routes entirely unknown to the wider martial world. This catastrophic outcome left the Avengers with no target, their quest for immediate retribution brought to a devastating, crushing halt.
Back to square one, but worse.
Exactly. With the direct path to vengeance blocked, with the enemy vanishing like smoke, a different kind of insight, a private emotional perspective, emerged from an unexpected source. A personal diary, offering a window into the intimate torment of those left behind. 4. A glimpse into the private. Wei Fenyang's diary.
As the direct path to vengeance was blocked, and despair threatened to consume the Zhao family, we gain a unique and intimately personal perspective through the diary of Wei Fenyang, Zhao Wuji's devoted wife.
The wife's perspective, that's often revealing.
She maintained a deeply personal habit of daily journaling. Every night before sleeping, she would diligently record the day's significant events along with her innermost thoughts and feelings.
Wow, even through all this horror.
Exactly. This practice provided a unique, intimate lens into the unfolding tragedy, offering insights and emotional nuances that no one else could perceive, a raw, unfiltered look at the cost of such immense loss. Even in her most profound grief, she maintained this ritual without a single day's lapse, a testament to her quiet strength and resilience.
That takes incredible discipline. This narrative device introduces a crucial personal and emotional layer to the objective, fact-driven events previously discussed, grounding the epic and deeply human experience.
It makes it feel real.
Her vulnerability and quiet observations offer a poignant contrast to the grand-scale machinations and violent realities of the martial arts world, reminding us of the personal toll of these conflicts. Her role as a virtuous and devoted good wife and mother is implicitly highlighted as a source of quiet strength and stability amidst the family's chaos, the anchor in their storm. Her very first entry after the murder, written in the immediate aftermath of unthinkable horror, brought to light a chilling, previously overlooked memory that began to haunt her as the pieces started to fit together.
In her journal entry for April 4th, Wei Fengyang confessed her initial disbelief that Shangwan Ren, Zhao Jian's supposed life-and-death friend, could possibly be the killer given their seemingly close bond.
Understandable. It seems impossible.
It was an unthinkable betrayal. However, as she tried to make sense of the chaos, she vividly recalled a peculiar incident from the afternoon of the murder itself, March 27th.
Something she saw.
Yes. She had personally witnessed Shangwan Ren appearing to kneel and kowtow towards Zhao Jian in the garden, only for Zhao Jian to gently stop him, lifting him up.
Kneeling, like begging forgiveness.
At the time, she had dismissed it, attributing it to their brotherly customs and her own preoccupation with Zhao Wuji on their wedding day. But now it took on a terrifying new meaning.
Upon reflection, in the grim light of discovery, she now realized this seemingly minor bow must have held a very special reason, a secret depth she couldn't comprehend at the time.
Hindsight is brutal.
She speculated with growing dread, the pieces clicking into a horrific picture. Was it because Shangwan Ren had some unspeakable secret discovered by Master Zhao, something so damning, so shameful that he kowtowed to apologize?
And Zhao Jian found out.
And even though Master Zhao, in his generous spirit, perhaps even forgave him, Shangwan Ren still wasn't at ease, fearing exposure. So he simply killed Master Zhao to silence him, to bury that secret forever.
That makes a horrifying kind of sense.
This startling recollection provided a compelling psychological motive for Shangwan Ren's profound betrayal, a desperate and ruthless act to cover up a deeply shaming or dangerous secret, ensuring his own survival or continued influence. This revelation solidified his image as a cunning and truly merciless individual.
It changes how you see him completely.
It also subtly implied Zhao Jian's own character, suggesting he had uncovered something significant enough to provoke such an extreme, unforgivable reaction. Wei Fengyang's subsequent entries in the diary continued to document the grim reality and the futility of the initial impulsive pursuit of vengeance, showing how the weight of truth can alter perception.
And her intuition proved incredibly sharp. By her April 5th entry, Wei Fengyang recorded the devastating return of Zhao Wuji and the others, noting their extreme agitation and crushed spirits upon finding Shangwan Fortress reduced to charred earth and Shangwan Ren vanished.
She saw their despair.
With keen intuition, far beyond her domestic role, she shrewdly observed that Shangwan Ren must have long calculated that his secret would eventually be discovered and had already prepared for this eventuality.
She figured out his escape plan.
Pretty much. She astutely reasoned that moving such a large number of people, his entire household of over 400 individuals, without leaving a single trace would be almost impossible unless they split into small groups and disguised themselves, blending into the vast anonymity of the populace.
That makes sense, scattering them like seeds in the wind. Her analysis, offered from a seemingly domestic perspective, but rooted in deep common sense and psychological understanding, powerfully confirmed Shangguan Ren's incredible foresight, meticulous planning, and profound ruthlessness, further solidifying his image as an even more formidable and elusive adversary.
She saw his cunning clearly.
Her deduction also provided a logical explanation for why the immediate pursuit led by Sikong Xiaofeng's men had inevitably failed. They were pursuing a ghost. This was not a simple escape, but a highly coordinated, well-resourced disappearing act.
A ghost hidden among the people.
And amidst this sweeping narrative of power and evasion, her personal longing for Zhao Wuji shines through. I wish I could stew him his favorite shredded chicken and pig trotter soup and bring it to him myself.
That just grounds it, doesn't it?
It does. This profoundly simple human desire serves to ground the sweeping narrative in deeply relatable human emotion, emphasizing her love and concern amidst the chaos, a quiet strength that holds the family together. As days passed, as the initial shock subsided, Zhao Wuji's despair transformed into a quiet but unshakable resolve for vengeance, a metamorphosis of spirit.
By her April 6 entry, Wei Fenyang noted a peculiar and profound change in Zhao Wuji. Despite the complete lack of news regarding Shangguan Ren, despite the seemingly hopeless situation, he appeared calmer than in previous days.
Calmer, after all that.
And, for the first time in a week, began eating large bowls of food. Knowing his temperament intimately since childhood, having grown up with him, she realized this sudden change signified that he had made up his mind to do something, specifically, to personally seek revenge for his father.
The calm before the storm. He'd found his purpose.
She expressed her profound fear for his safety, understanding the monumental danger, yet simultaneously acknowledged that no one, absolutely no one, would be able to dissuade him from this path. It was an unshakable resolve.
This dramatic shift in Zhao Wuji, from catatonic paralysis to a state of quiet composure and renewed physical sustenance, clearly marked his transformation from a grieving son to a determined avenger.
He was ready.
It wasn't just a physical recovery, but a profound, conscious decision to embark on a determined, albeit incredibly dangerous, personal mission. This underscored the depth of his commitment and his inherent stubbornness, a resilience forged in the fires of tragedy.
And his wife, what did she write?
Her poignant internal monologue captures the essence of her love and devotion, a raw, emotional truth. I only hope he can come to see me, tell me when he plans to leave, and let me tell him that no matter where he goes, no matter how long he'll be gone, I will wait for him. Even if I have to wait a lifetime, I am willing.
Oh, wow. That adds immense emotional weight and a personal romantic element to his solitary, perilous journey.
Absolutely. In her April 7th entry, she described his late-night secretive farewell visit, where he told her he was leaving to find Shangguan Ren, even if it meant searching to the ends of the earth.
He told her, and only her.
Exactly. He emphasized that she was the only one he told, not even Qian Tian knew, highlighting their special private bond. He also assured her of his newfound confidence in his martial arts and his preparations for the journey, including knowledge of Defeng Hall's secret branches and his father's hidden allies for support.
So he wasn't going in completely blind this time.
No, he had a plan, resources. Zhao Wuji's secretive departure on the night of April 7th was soon echoed by another significant figure, signaling a broader, hidden orchestration of events.
In her final entry, dated April 8th, Wei Fengyang made a startling discovery that confirmed her deepest fears and the unfolding of a larger plan. Sikong Xiaofeng had also departed the previous night.
Sikong Xiaofeng left too.
Crucially, after Zhao Wuji had left, this wasn't a coincidence. She then resolves with renewed strength to no longer weep in my room and to help Qian manage the household, recognizing it as my own home, her place of resilience and strength.
Sikong Xiaofeng's quiet, almost imperceptible departure further reinforces his strategic, behind-the-scenes role, a master tactician who prefers to move in the shadows.
He's playing the long game.
It strongly suggests he isn't merely abandoning Zhao Wuji to his fate, but rather acting as a hidden guide, a silent protector, or perhaps even preparing a path for the next phase of the vengeance quest, subtly influencing events from afar.
Like a guardian angel or puppet master.
Hard to say with him. Wei Fengyang's conflicted sentiment, revealed in her diary, "I hope they find him and I hope they don't find him," poignantly reflects the internal struggle between wishing for Zhao Wuji's safety and understanding the imperative, the absolute necessity of his quest for revenge.
Love versus duty, a classic conflict.
This sets the stage for Zhao Wuji's solitary journey into the unknown, a journey implicitly guided by unseen forces and fated encounters. And this quest for vengeance quickly leads him into a bizarre and enlightening encounter, pulling him deeper into the hidden, almost mystical world of the martial arts that exists just beneath the surface of the ordinary. The enigmatic world of Xiao Donglu, a journey of self-discovery.
Driven by an internal fire of hatred, a singular consuming purpose, Zhao Wuji furiously rode his horse through the deep, cold, rainy night. His aim was clear: to put distance between himself and Wei Fenyang's tearful, loving eyes, ensuring nothing could sway his grim resolve.
He needed that isolation to focus.
He needed to be alone with his quest. In this desolate, rain-soaked darkness, a lone light, almost an apparition, appeared in the distance, and his path was suddenly blocked by a small, peculiar child.
A child, out here, in the middle of the night in the rain.
Exactly. This child, clad in a vibrant red robe with a distinctive top knot bouncing as he moved, casually held a paper umbrella in one hand and a Kong Ming lantern.
A lantern.
Those small illuminated paper lanterns often used for celebration in the other. He was smiling impishly at Zhao Wuji. The child's unexpected presence and strange demeanor made Zhao Wuji's horse rear violently, nearly unseating him, a jarring start to a bizarre encounter.
What's truly fascinating here, and immediately signals a shift in the narrative's tone, is the child's audaciousness, his uncanny appearance in the middle of nowhere, and his immediate casual familiarity with Zhao Wuji.
He knew who Zhao Wuji was.
Instantly. He knew his full name and status as Defeng Hall's young master, without any introduction. This is highly unusual and marks a definitive shift in the narrative, signaling Zhao Wuji's entry into a more fantastical, almost surreal, and deeply hidden realm within the Wuxia world, where rules of logic bend.
Things are getting weird.
Very. The child's innocent yet profoundly provocative remark, delivered with a playful smile. "I only fear this horse might accidentally be trampled to death by me, and I can't afford to compensate," instantly disarms Zhao Wuji's anger.
Trampled by a child.
Right. It highlights the child's peculiar confidence and seemingly impossible abilities. It immediately establishes that this is no ordinary child and no ordinary encounter. This enigmatic child then led Zhao Wuji to an even more astonishing and paradoxical destination, a place that defies convention.
When Zhao Wuji, still reeling from the strange encounter, asked the child where his home was, the child casually pointed towards a sparse forest by the roadside.
A house in the woods.
Zhao Wuji, scanning the dark woods, initially perceived a small, indistinct house in the distance, a humble dwelling. However, the child playfully corrected him, a mischievous glint in his eye, revealing that what Zhao Wuji saw was actually an enormous, unprecedented carriage, so grand it was like a small house unto itself.
A carriage, like a house.
Zhao Wuji himself, a young master from a prominent family, had never seen such a large carriage before, noting it was indeed the size of a small building, yet it possessed 4 wheels, undeniably a vehicle. It was a contradiction in terms, a house that could move.
This colossal carriage is far more than just transportation. It symbolizes a self-contained, mobile domain, a hidden world on wheels, belonging to a powerful and mysterious figure who deliberately eschews traditional rootedness and the confines of static wealth.
Power without land. Interesting.
It subtly hints at a life of constant movement, elusiveness, and a deliberate choice to operate outside conventional society, unburdened by land or fixed property. The child's whimsical explanation of its appeal. Houses can't run everywhere, but carriages can. Today we're east of the river, tomorrow west of the river, as if we have a home everywhere. Highlights the unique freedom and nomadic lifestyle enjoyed by its inhabitants, a stark contrast to the settled traditional lives of most people in this world.
A rolling kingdom.
It's a literal manifestation of unrooted power. Inside this remarkable, moving fortress, Zhao Wuji finally met its extraordinary and equally mysterious owner, a man whose very existence was a paradox.
Upon entering the surprisingly spacious and sumptuously appointed carriage, filled with exquisite and clearly expensive antique furnishings, priceless trinkets from across the land, Zhao Wuji met its owner, Xiao Donglu.
Xiao Donglu. Finally, a name.
He was a middle-aged man with graying temples, neatly dressed and possessing a handsome face that always bore a gentle smile, a picture of serene composure. However, his most striking and indeed tragic feature was the pure aluminum frame encasing his back, holding him upright.
An aluminum frame. Why?
Without this frame, he explained with an unsettling calm, he would literally shatter and become a puddle of mud, indicating a severe chronic spinal injury. He lived in constant agonizing pain, a torture that would break lesser men, but maintained remarkable composure, his gentle smile never wavering.
Xiao Donglu openly revealed the harrowing truth. His crucial spinal bone was completely shattered. His very existence depended on this deadly frame to prevent his body from becoming like a puddle of mud.
Incredible that he's even alive.
He continuously endured immense pain, a living testament to profound suffering. Yet, incredibly, he frequently wore a gentle smile, making his very survival a marvel even to himself. This image of Xiao Donglu, perpetually supported by an external frame, serves as a powerful metaphor for resilience and the acceptance of profound, incurable suffering.
Strength through acceptance.
Despite his immense physical agony, his ability to maintain such a warm, welcoming demeanor deeply impressed Zhao Wuji, highlighting an extraordinary strength of spirit that transcends physical limitations. As Zhao Wuji himself reflected, a person who knows he will live his entire life on a frame, yet can still smile often, is truly admirable. This emphasizes the profound impact of Xiao Donglu's stoicism, a strength that isn't physical, but deeply philosophical.
And he then extended his own physical reality, his constant pain, and his literal support system into a profound philosophical insight, connecting it directly to Zhao Wuji's own suffering, and, by extension, to everyone. It was a moment of deep connection.
Xiao Donglu shared a deeply insightful philosophy, one that resonates far beyond the wuxia world. Everyone carries such a frame on their body, you just can't see it.
An invisible frame.
He immediately applied this to Zhao Wuji, accurately observing his mourning clothes, his pale, haggard face, and the bloodshot eyes, filled with both sorrow and hatred. He diagnosed these overwhelming emotions as a disease from which Zhao Wuji was very ill.
A disease of the soul.
He then argued that Zhao Wuji hadn't collapsed and was still standing, precisely because his overwhelming desire for vengeance, his raw hatred for Shangwan Ren, acted as his personal frame, preventing his total breakdown, giving him a reason to literally remain upright.
So hatred was keeping him going.
Paradoxically, yes. So what does this all mean for us? This is a core philosophical insight of the entire narrative, brilliantly connecting physical disability to profound emotional burdens. It proposes that psychological frames, be the grief, hatred, determination, or even love, can paradoxically both support an individual, giving them the strength to carry on, and perhaps trap them, defining their very existence.
Support and prison all at once.
It's a reframing of Zhao Wuji's overwhelming emotions, not merely as debilitating burdens, but as empowering, albeit painful structures. It begs the question, what unseen frames are we all carrying in our own lives, shaping our resilience and perhaps our limits? It's a unique and powerful perspective on the nature of human survival and obsession.
Beyond his profound philosophy, Xiao Donglu's lifestyle and vast resources were equally mysterious and awe-inspiring, challenging every assumption Zhao Wuji had about wealth and power.
Right, how does this guy afford all this?
Sicon Xiaofeng, a longtime acquaintance, provided astonishing details about Xiao Donglu's seemingly effortless existence. He had never seen him earn a single coin, and he possessed not even an acre of land, lacking any traditional source of wealth.
No visible income at all.
Yet he lived a life of unparalleled luxury, like a prince. The furnishings and antique trinkets within his carriage alone were worth thousands of gold, a small fortune. His monthly expenses, solely for his staff and the upkeep of his horses, amounted to at least 5,000 taels, an astronomical sum for the time, enough to support a small army.
5,000 taels a month, just for upkeep. That's insane wealth. This paints a vivid, almost fantastical picture of immense hidden power, influence, and seemingly limitless wealth, all acquired through entirely unknown means, operating completely outside conventional economic structures.
And his staff.
He maintained a retinue of at least 30 personal attendants, which included 4 excellent chefs even the imperial palace couldn't hire.
Better than the emperor's chefs.
Apparently. Demonstrating a level of luxury beyond royalty, and 6 horsemen who once cared for the horses of great generals during Western campaigns, implying access to elite military talent.
Top-tier staff.
And his horses. He owned an extraordinary at least 800 prime horses, each carefully selected as 1 in 1,000, the very best. These were not just any horses. They were rotated every 300-500 lights, approximately 90-150 miles, at strategically placed horse-changing stations across the land, suggesting a vast hidden network.
A network of horse stations, like a private pony express.
Pretty much. The sheer scale of his operations,
Yeah.
800 horses, 5,000 taels a month in expenses, made him appear almost a mythical figure, challenging the listener's perception of what is possible within the martial arts world, hinting at a power that transcends the ordinary.
And here's the chilling part of his power. Despite his physical immobility, he couldn't even kill a fly with his own hands. Those who showed him disrespect often suddenly died for no reason the next day.
Ooh, dead, just dead.
A mere slight could lead to an invisible, deadly retribution. Sikong Xiaofeng wryly speculated whether this misfortune was truly heaven-sent, or, far more likely, orchestrated by Xiao Donglu himself.
Yeah, I'm guessing not heaven sent.
Noting that at least 10 of his 30 attendants were first-rate martial arts masters, deadly assassins in waiting.
So his staff are also his enforcers.
Seems like it. Xiao Donglu's casual, almost detached tone when discussing his slaves, these powerful martial artists, further emphasized his absolute control and enigmatic nature. He presented himself not just as a benefactor, but as a powerful, hidden patron, and a silent, deadly force operating far above conventional society, a king without a throne.
Terrifying and fascinating.
And just as Zhao Wuji was trying to grasp this new reality, the setting suddenly transformed in a dramatic, almost impossible display of power, preparing for an even more astonishing assembly. A motley assembly, beneath the starry sky.
At Xiao Donglu's subtle signal, a mere nod or flick of his finger, his towering Persian steward, Hu Ju, former general strongman rescued by Xiao Donglu, with two prime Dawan sweating blood horses, horses renowned for their endurance and speed, immediately responded.
The giant steward.
Right. The once dark and dense forest surrounding the carriage, cloaking them in shadow, was miraculously illuminated, becoming bright as day in an instant.
How magic.
Not necessarily magic. Then, in an act that defied belief, the trees suddenly all fell down with no visible force and were swiftly dragged away by thick ropes, transforming the entire dense forest into a perfectly flat ground in mere moments.
Okay, that sounds like magic. Or incredible engineering.
Or just immense, coordinated manpower hidden in the shadows. This dramatic and seemingly impossible display vividly highlighted the extreme efficiency, coordinated power, and immense resources of Zhao Donglu's unseen forces.
He can literally reshape the landscape on a whim.
The speed and scale of the transformation, achieved with such precision and seemingly effortless power, bordered on the magical, further emphasizing his extraordinary capabilities and mysterious influence. Zhao Wuji, though witnessing it firsthand, could scarcely believe his eyes, the source tells us, underscoring the awe-inspiring nature of this orchestrated feat, a clear demonstration of power rather than mere wealth.
He's putting on a show for Zhao Wuji.
Seems likely. The stage was now perfectly set for an even more astonishing and unconventional spectacle, one that would redefine Zhao Wuji's understanding of hidden societies.
A vibrant cacophony of diverse regional dialects and lively street cries suddenly heralded the arrival of numerous street vendors, emerging from the now cleared darkness.
Vendors out here.
They included wonton sellers, pastry sellers, braised meat sellers, wine sellers, and many others, hailing from various parts of the land, from the bustling south to the rugged north. Each carried their distinctive stalls and wares, converging into the brightly lit clearing as if an entire marketplace had sprung up out of thin air.
A pop-up night market in the middle of nowhere. Strange.
And this is where the ordinary became extraordinary. Zhao Wuji was profoundly startled when he recognized one unassuming elderly peanut vendor, her face weathered by the sun as Black Granny, a figure renowned throughout the martial arts world for her formidable golden bow and silver pellet skills, a master assassin.
Black Granny, selling peanuts.
Like all the other vendors, she humbly knelt before Zhao Donglu, presented her finest wares not as items for sale, but as a solemn gift, received a faint, approving smile from him, and then departed with an air of profound gratitude, seemingly not recognizing Zhao Wuji.
So these aren't just vendors.
Exactly. This shocking revelation immediately exposed the true nature of these seemingly humble vendors. They were, in fact, powerful and well-known figures from the martial arts world, now operating under clever, almost mundane disguises. Their offerings were not for commerce, but deeply symbolic tributes, demonstrating unwavering loyalty to Xiao Donglu, a hidden fealty.
A secret society hiding in plain sight.
The sheer diversity of their origins, evidenced by their southern and northern accents, strongly suggested a vast and widespread network of influence and allegiance centered around Xiao Donglu, a spiderweb of power.
The true significance of their offerings soon became unequivocally clear as Xiao Donglu himself began to explain. Each vendor approached the mysterious master, presenting their best product, kneeling humbly, and expressing profound gratitude and heartfelt well wishes in their respective regional dialects, a testament to their long-standing relationship.
Paying their respects.
Xiao Donglu then casually explained that these individuals were his former subordinates, who had since become all business people, living seemingly normal lives. He clarified that they made this annual pilgrimage bringing these valuable gifts because they understood his immense financial burden. They know I need to support 30 attendants and 800 horses.
So the gifts are tribute, payment.
Essentially, yes. This profound reveal established Xiao Donglu as a powerful and hidden patron, consistently supporting his former forces who were now thriving as disguised commoners. The gifts were, in reality, their annual tithes or offerings, a tangible manifestation of their enduring loyalty and his ongoing colossal financial requirements.
And those ordinary tools they use.
Yes. The casual mention of the golden nature of their seemingly ordinary tools, for instance, the wanton sellers carrying poles, those simple wooden implements being made of pure gold.
Solid gold carrying poles.
You wouldn't sell 300 years of wontons to earn one of these poles. Implied that their current businesses were extraordinarily lucrative, likely protected, or even enabled by Xiao Donglu's vast influence. This highlighted the existence of a hidden, powerful economy operating beneath the surface of the conventional martial world, a clandestine network of wealth and influence.
Mind blown. Just wow.
Just as this unique gathering concluded and Zhao Wuji was trying to process these layers of deception, another highly anticipated and boisterous guest made his dramatic and unannounced arrival, one even stranger than the rest.
And what an entrance. Was something out of a wild dream. A man of colossal stature, even taller than the formidable Hu Ju, the Persian steward, burst onto the scene with earth-shattering laughter that seemed to make the very air vibrate, shaking the leaves from the trees.
Bigger than Hu Ju, he must be enormous.
This was Xuan Yutguanwang, a name that would soon become very important to Zhao Wuji. He carried 3 large sacks, each capable of holding a stone of rice, a truly impressive load, yet he moved with the astonishing agility of a swallow, defying his immense size.
Giant, but graceful. Another paradox.
He wore a thick sheepskin coat, despite the warm April weather, another eccentricity, and displayed a striking lack of reverence for Xiao Donglu, immediately pointing at his nose and laughing boisterously, treating the revered master with an almost playful disrespect.
Xuan Yuan Yuguang was a paradoxical figure, a walking contradiction of immense talent and glaring flaw. He openly admitted, with a self-deprecating laugh, "I always lose when gambling," a statement that would typically be a source of shame, but for him was merely a fact.
A terrible gambler.
Okay. Yet he confidently asserted, "My skill at finding people is #1 in the world."
Wait, the world's best tracker is a compulsive losing gambler?
Apparently so.
Yeah.
This contradiction defined his character, a peerless tracker burdened by a ruinous, almost pathological gambling addiction. His blatant disrespect for Xiao Donglu, whom everyone else revered and feared, suggests a unique and long-standing relationship between them. Perhaps an old friendship forged in shared battles, a peculiar rivalry, or a deep, almost familial bond that transcended conventional etiquette.
They must go way back.
The stark contrast between his imposing physical appearance, gigantic, unkempt, and his incredible agility moving like a swallow, make him an unforgettable and truly eccentric figure, a force of nature. He quickly proposed an outrageous and highly symbolic wager, setting the stage for a critical gamble that would unexpectedly alter Zhao Wuji's path.
Without hesitation and with the bravado of a true gambler, Xuan Yuan Yiguang emptied his 3 sacks onto the ground, revealing an astonishing hoard of treasures. Gold poured out.
More gold.
Golden candelabras, golden incense burners, golden Buddhas, golden jewelry, golden crowns, belts, ingots, bars, pots, cups, bottles, and even a golden chamber pot. A truly absurd and opulent collection.
The golden chamber pot. Seriously.
All these items were crafted from pure gold, with some even inlaid with more precious bright pearls and jade than the gold itself. His proposition was audacious, to wager this immense, undeniable wealth against the seemingly ordinary vendor carts left behind by Xiao Donglu's disciples.
He wants to gamble for the gold carts. This dramatic display served to unequivocally confirm the extraordinary value of the vendors' discarded tools. They were, indeed, made of solid gold, not just gilded.
So he knew they were valuable?
It simultaneously highlighted Xuanyuan Yuguang's almost pathological compulsion for gambling, his willingness to stake an immense fortune on seemingly trivial items. The thought resonated strongly with Zhao Wuji and with us. Only a madman would gamble so much gold for a few carts of street food vendors.
He really has a problem.
Yet, incredibly, Zhao Donglu's initial response was to claim that even this vast pile of gold was not enough as a wager, hinting at an even greater, unfathomable wealth at his disposal, a casual display of immense, incomprehensible power.
Xiao Donglu is just on another level. With the stakes ridiculously high, the stage was set for a pivotal dice game, featuring an unexpected player.
After feigning consideration, a subtle smile playing on his lips, Xiao Donglu eventually agreed to the gamble. Xuan Yung Yiguang went first, expertly rolling a 4-5-6, a high result that made him loudly declare his luck had finally turned, convinced of his victory.
He thinks he's won.
Then, in a truly surprising move, Xiao Donglu invited Zhao Wuji to roll for him, placing the fate of this absurdly high-stakes wager in the hands of a young, grieving stranger.
Why Zhao Wuji?
Guess again. Fate. Who knows? Zhao Wuji, who admitted he had a history of gambling, took the dice made of exquisite white jade and the golden bowl. With a practiced hand, perhaps an instinct from his past, he rolled 3 sixes, a 6 leopard.
3 sixes, the highest roll possible.
Exactly. This was the highest possible roll in dice, considered as difficult to achieve as an iron tree blooming, essentially an almost impossible feat, a stroke of impossible luck or a hidden talent revealing itself.
This moment was incredibly crucial for Zhao Wuji. His role, whether a stroke of extraordinary luck, a divine intervention, or an unconscious display of hidden skill, intrinsically aligned him with a unique form of power and destiny.
Fate stepped in.
This impossible, miraculous role immediately placed Xuanyuan Yugrong in a binding debt, an unbreakable obligation, forcing him to uphold his impulsive promise. Whatever he wants me to do, I will do.
He owes Zhao Wuji big time now.
Xuanyuan Yuguang's dramatic reaction after seeing the 3 sixes, horrified, "It'll kill me," and his subsequent rapid exit, leaping away with 3 somersaults and vanishing into the night, as if trying to outrun his debt, reinforced his wild, eccentric character, making him instantly memorable.
He just bolts.
The exquisite white jade dice and golden bowl added to the fantastical and elevated nature of this seemingly simple game, making it clear this was no ordinary back alley wager. The surprising and almost miraculous victory bestowed upon Zhao Wuji an unexpected and powerful asset for his daunting quest, a literal key to finding his elusive enemy.
Xiao Donglu, in recognition of Zhao Wuji's lucky roll, offered him a prize. Any 5 of the carrying poles from those carts that the vendors had left behind.
The solid gold poles.
Zhao Wuji, upon picking one up, was astonished by its immense weight, immediately realizing it was made of 10/10 pure gold, not just gilded. He then confirmed that other items from the vendors, like their bowls and ladles, were also solid gold or silver. The golden carrying poles served as tangible symbols of hidden value, immense wealth, and the vast covert resources at Xiao Donglu's disposal, a hidden economy on full display.
A very heavy prize.
Xiao Donglu then subtly implied that Xuanyuan Yuguang, now irrevocably indebted to Zhao Wuji, could find anyone, no matter where they hid.
The world's best tracker.
But that he, Xiao Donglu, was far harder to find, perhaps even impossible. Zhao Wuji, with newfound insight and a quick strategic mind, immediately grasped the implication. He could leverage Xuanyuan Yuguang's unparalleled tracking ability to locate Shangguan Ren, the elusive killer, transforming a desperate search into a feasible pursuit.
So the dice roll wasn't just about gold, it was about finding Shangguan Ren.
Exactly. Zhao Wuji's quick thinking and strategic deduction to utilize Xuanyuan Yuguang's unique talent showcased his growing cunning and adaptability, signaling a maturation beyond mere impulsive rage, becoming a true player in this hidden world. The bizarre night continued to unfold with the arrival of the most ominous and unsettling guest yet, truly challenging the boundaries of life and death. 7. The arrival of the zombie. Secrets of immortality and proxy battles.
As the third watch, signifying midnight, was struck by a distant drum, signaling the deepest part of the night, a deeply unsettling procession approached through the now darkened forest.
Midnight, the witching hour.
8 thin, tall, black-clad men, silent and gaunt figures, carried a large, ominous, coffin-like box. But what was truly shocking was sitting composedly atop this Sioux pitch-black coffin was a child, approximately 10 years old, clad in pristine white clothes.
Wait, the same child from before, the red-robed one.
Zhao Wuji was startled to recognize this as the very same peculiar child who had led him to the carriage earlier, now simply in different attire.
Okay, that's definitely strange. 2 identical kids.
Zhao Donglu, seeing the procession emerge from the shadows, sighed deeply and murmured, He finally came, a note of weary resignation in his voice. When Zhao Wuji, utterly bewildered, asked who it was, Xiao Donglu replied with a chillingly simple answer that defied all logic. It's a dead man.
A dead man, arriving in a coffin. This dramatic and macabre entrance served as the chilling climax of the nocturnal gathering, introducing the most disturbing and powerful figure of the night, one that challenges the very fabric of reality.
It feels like we're stepping into legend now.
The very concept of a dead man arriving in a coffin, yet capable of presence, of interaction, immediately challenged the boundaries of life and death, plunging the narrative into a realm of the supernatural and deeply unsettling. The description of the pitch-black coffin, shimmering as if made of gold like the carrying poles, hinting at hidden value even in death, heightened the eerie and expensive atmosphere of this strange arrival, adding a layer of opulent terror.
Gold seems to be a theme here.
This dead man, it quickly became apparent, was no ordinary corpse, no mere reanimated being. He was something far more complex, far more tragic.
The coffin was placed directly outside the carriage door, and its lid was lifted to reveal a figure lying stiffly within. A gaunt, pale zombie, a term here meaning an unmoving corpse or zombie-like being, utterly devoid of life.
Like a Jiangshi, maybe,
No,
from folklore.
possibly. His hands were crossed over his chest in a posture of eternal rest, his white clothes spotless, and his face appeared bloodless and withered, as if long dead. Yet, incredibly miraculously, he spoke.
The corpse spoke.
His voice sandy and cold, like wind whistling through dry bones, lamenting, "I am not well."
He then uttered a shocking revelation to Xiao Donglu, a statement that hinted at a shared dark history. Xiao Donglu, you harmed me, and I harmed you.
Whoa, mutual harm. And that's how Zhao Wuji learns Xiao Donglu's name, from a talking corpse.
Apparently so. This was the first time Zhao Wuji learned the mysterious master's true name, revealed by this living paradox.
The zombie presented a profound paradox. Appearing utterly lifeless, a true corpse yet capable of coherent speech. His voice, though cold, carried unspeakable sorrow and regret, a haunting echo of a lost past.
So not just a monster.
Suggesting he was not merely a reanimated corpse, a mindless automaton, but a sentient being trapped in a state of existential suffering, suspended agonizingly between life and death. Even the composed Sikong Xiaofeng, a man of iron nerves and vast knowledge, was visibly startled when the zombie spoke, his thoughts immediately turning to ancient, mysterious legends of revived zombies, highlighting the truly unsettling and almost mythical nature of this being, a creature of folklore made real. Even Sikong was rattled.
Their subsequent chilling dialogue swiftly unveiled a complex, almost symbiotic, and deeply painful codependent relationship, a bond forged in mutual destruction.
The zombie asked Xiao Donglu about his condition, who replied, with equal weariness, "I am also not well."
Both suffering.
The zombie then affirmed their unique, unbreakable connection, a grim pact. As long as I don't die, you won't die.
What? Their lives are linked.
Seems so. He also acknowledged the reason for their intertwined fates, because you know only I can preserve your life. Zhao Donglu, without hesitation, then produced a small blue and white porcelain bottle, exquisite in its detail, offering its contents to the zombie, who, upon consuming it, also appeared to find a measure of peace, a momentary reprieve from his suffering.
This exchange revealed a mysterious and mutually dependent curse or pact that bound the two men in a dance of suffering and survival. The zombie was unequivocally vital for Xiao Donglu's continued existence, possessing a unique, almost miraculous healing capability essential for his survival.
To keep him from becoming that puddle of mud.
Exactly. A constant necessity to prevent him from becoming a puddle of mud. Their shared expression of being not well implied a common, enduring suffering that was central to their intertwined fates, a physical and spiritual burden that linked them forever.
What kind of harm did they do to each other?
The precise nature of the harm they inflicted upon each other remained shrouded in mystery, hinting at a past so catastrophic it fused their destinies. Perhaps a shared, rare Kai deviation from a botched cultivation attempt, or a mystical injury from a jewel that bound their very life forces. What is clear is a painful symbiosis, where one cannot truly live without the other, a chilling testament to the consequences of martial power misused, or accidents gone wrong.
A terrible fate for both.
The zombie then dramatically demonstrated the very unique power that bound him to Xiao Donglu, an act of healing that was as terrifying as it was essential for Xiao Donglu to continue his life in agonizing pain.
And what a demonstration it was. The zombie suddenly rose stiffly from his coffin, a feat that defied all explanation as he appeared to move without moving, a spectral shift.
Like he floated up.
Kind of. He miraculously drew golden objects into his hand from thin air, transforming them into a staff with a mere flick of his wrist. He then proceeded to strike Xiao Donglu with astonishing speed and precision, hitting 64 acupoints on his front and then 64 on his back.
Hitting him. Is this healing or attacking?
This was not an attack meant to kill, quite the opposite. It was a specific, rapid, unique technique to clear Xiao Donglu's severely blocked true Kuai, his vital internal energy, the very life force that martial artists cultivate.
Acupoint stimulation, but intense.
The red-clad child leader explained that Xiao Donglu's body was simply too weak to clear his own Kai, and only the zombie could perform this continuous 128-point strike without interruption, as any break would be fatal to Xiao Donglu.
So only the zombie could do it without killing him.
Wow. After this brutal, terrifying treatment, Xiao Donglu then visibly relaxed, his face showing a very relaxed expression, as if just recovered from a long illness or as if a heavy burden had been lifted. The agony momentarily eased.
This healing ritual was, in essence, a brutal and terrifying display of martial prowess. Yet it was absolutely vital for Xiao Donglu's survival. The fact that only the zombie possessed the unique knowledge, precision, and speed to perform this precise, continuous 128-point acupoint strike emphasized the rarity of his skill and the profound, almost fated depth of their connection.
Power used for painful preservation.
It's a testament to the fact that power in the martial world isn't always about destruction. Sometimes it's about a unique, painful form of preservation. Xiao Donglu's immediate transformation, his face showing profound relief, powerfully reinforced the intense necessity of this painful annual treatment.
An annual ordeal.
Parallel to this unique and disturbing relationship, two young boys embodied a different kind of fated connection, one of rivalry and inherited conflict, a tragic echo of their master's unresolved struggle.
And as these strange ceremonies unfolded, the two children emerged, embodying a different, yet equally profound dynamic. The red-clad child who had initially guided Zhao Wuji to the carriage and the white-clad child sitting on the coffin were revealed to be physically identical, a startling discovery.
Twins. Okay, that makes more sense now.
The red-clad child, with a mischievous grin, asserted that the white-clad one was his opponent, born that way, a heaven-born rival. They then proceeded to spar fiercely with two identical swords, precisely matched in form, length, weight, and steel quality, a true test of pure skill.
So they're rivals, these twin brothers.
The white-clad child, driven by pride, struck first, launching 11 rapid and deadly thrusts. Both children displayed astonishing skill, their swordplay deemed worthy of ranking within the top 50 in the world, despite their tender age of only 11 or 12 years old.
Top 50 in the world at age 11. That's incredible inherited mastery.
It was a display of inherited mastery.
The children's contrasting personalities were a striking theme, adding a layer of psychological complexity to their physical prowess. The red-clad child was portrayed as witty, playful, and strategically cunning.
It's a trickster.
Deliberately provoking the white-clad child to attack first, testing his temper. In stark contrast, the white-clad child was easily angered, intensely prideful, and rigidly obsessed with rules and face, traits often ingrained in martial artists.
Hot-headed and proud.
Their dynamic was one of constant deliberate provocation by the red-clad child, who clearly relished pushing his counterpart's buttons. The red-clad child gleefully teased the white-clad one about his never-soiled feet and his potential for stunted growth due to his temper, successfully driving the white-clad child into a furious tantrum that resulted in an accidental splash of mud to his visible horror.
Typical kids, even with deadly skills.
A childish tantrum juxtaposed against deadly skill. Amidst their fierce duel, their masters subtly revealed the deeper, more profound meaning behind their conflict.
The red-clad child later explained that they engaged in this fierce duel annually, a tradition maintained for 5 years, ever since they were 8 years old. It was more than just practice.
An annual grudge match. Why?
He revealed that their respective masters, Xiao Donglu and the zombie, were no longer able to directly fight each other, perhaps due to their unique symbiotic curse or a deep, irreconcilable stalemate. Consequently, they orchestrated these duels through their disciples, believing that whoever's disciple wins, that master is more capable, a proxy war of immense pride and ancient grudge.
So the kids are fighting their father's battle. That's messed up. This exposed a deep-seated, unresolved rivalry between Xiao Donglu and the zombie, which was now tragically played out through the hands of their young students, their own children.
Using their own sons as pawns.
It underscored the enduring animosity between the masters and their indirect exertion of power, a cruel legacy passed down. The intense dueling was dramatically interrupted by Lu Sangang, the fatal watchman, a blind man,
A blind watchman.
who, despite his apparent disability, accurately snapped both swords with a white staff, an astonishing feat of skill and precision. This act further demonstrated Lu Sanging's profound and unwavering loyalty to the zombie, who later commanded him to harm himself, a command Lu Sanging obeyed without a single flicker of hesitation or anger, showcasing a terrifying, absolute obedience.
He just obeyed in
Our-
order to harm himself.
Instantly, the zombie then seized the opportunity presented by Lu Sanging's extreme obedience to impart a harsh and unyielding lesson to his disciple, a lesson in the brutal, unforgiving nature of a swordsman's honor.
And what a harsh lesson it was. After immediately stopping Lu Sung from dying, he had already cut his own throat at the zombie's command, a display of shocking devotion. The zombie turned to the white-clad child.
What did he say?
He stated, his voice cold and unwavering, "Now you understand. One word from you can decide another's life or death." He then issued a chilling and absolute instruction. If anyone, regardless of who they are, even the zombie himself, ever broke the white-clad child's sword, he must not let them off and must kill them first, even if you die.
Kill them over a broken sword. Even his own master. This teaching was presented as the core principle of a swordsman's honor and pride, a philosophy of absolute, unyielding defense of one's blade, an extension of one's very soul.
That's an extreme code of honor.
This brutal lesson underscored the absolute importance of a swordsman's weapon as an extension of their honor, identity, and very being within the martial world. It was a rigorous and unforgiving teaching explicitly designed to forge a peerless swordsman who valued reputation and mastery above life itself, a path of unwavering, almost fanatical dedication.
What about the other kid, the red one?
The red-clad child's contrasting, more magnanimous philosophy served as a powerful counterpoint, highlighting the different paths to mastery. If his sword were broken, he would simply buy another and practice until no one could break his sword.
More practical, less deadly.
Xiao Donglu praised this perspective, highlighting his desire for his own disciple to embody a broader, more resilient spirit rather than narrow-minded pride that could lead to reckless decisions. Witnessing the entirety of these strange and profound interactions, the bizarre power dynamics and the stark philosophies, Zhao Wuji was stirred to perform his own daring act, challenging the very source of this unsettling power, perhaps even challenging his own fear.
Inspired and perhaps provoked by the bizarre and unsettling events, by the raw power and strange wisdom on display, Zhao Wuji suddenly rushed towards the zombie.
Oh, what's he doing?
He audaciously confessed, "Earlier I was laughing at you," a dangerous admission, and then he challenged him directly, demanding, "If you won't act, it's because you don't value me. What's the point of living if one is treated with such contempt?"
He's challenging the talking corpse to a fight. Or demanding respect.
It was a desperate plea for meaning, a demand for respect, even if it meant death. The zombie finally opened his eyes, which radiated a chilling, electric light, gazing intently at Zhao Wuji, a scrutiny that seemed to penetrate his very soul.
Tense moment.
After a tense pause, the zombie extended an unexpected invitation, a grim pact. "If you truly wish to die after the full moon, go to Jua Mountain. I will grant your wish."
He accepted the challenge. Or offered a death match.
Seems like it. And Zhao Wuji, without hesitation or a moment's thought, his resolve absolute, immediately accepted.
Wow. He just agreed to a death match with a potentially immortal zombie. This was a pivotal moment for Zhao Wuji, marking his bold declaration of purpose and a profound shift in his character.
He's not just grieving anymore.
He was no longer merely seeking vengeance, consumed by blind grief. He was actively seeking confrontation, even death, as a means to regain a sense of personal agency and worth in a world that had dealt him such a devastating blow, a world that seemed to have abandoned him. His challenge was both reckless and immensely brave, showcasing the hard bones, inflexible will and courage that the red-clad child had admired in him.
He's finding his strength in defiance.
The zombie's piercing, cold gaze and Zhao Wuji's unflinching return gaze dramatically highlighted their clash of wills and Zhao Wuji's newfound fearlessness, a testament to how far he had come. His immediate and resolute acceptance of the deadly invitation underscored his absolute and unwavering resolve, his commitment to his path, no matter how dangerous. As the night concluded, the zombie retreated into his coffin, leaving a clear, albeit perilous path open for Zhao Wuji's next step, a confrontation with a literal dead man on Jua Mountain. Epilogue in the road ahead. unseen connections.
After the zombie re-entered his coffin and was carried away into the mist by his silent attendants, along with the white-clad child, who made a final playful jab about the red-clad child needing a bath next year, a fleeting moment of childish rivalry.
Still kids, underneath it all.
The red-clad child tearfully confessed the profound truth, his earlier playfulness replaced by raw emotion. "We are not rivals, we are brothers. If I hadn't been born half an hour earlier, he would be my elder brother."
Oh, man. So they are brothers. This emotional twist unveiled the tragic irony at the heart of their relationship. Their masters, Xiao Donglu and the zombie, unable to directly settle their own scores due to their unique binding curse or stalemate, had cruelly orchestrated a perpetual fierce rivalry between their own twin sons, their flesh and blood.
That's heartbreaking, pitting brother against brother.
This revelation underscored the profound weight of inherited legacies, how the unresolved conflicts of the powerful can cruelly dictate the lives and even the identities of the next generation, twisting natural bonds into manufactured animosity. Imagine being forced into perpetual rivalry, unknowingly, by your own family's past grudges.
It makes you question their whole rivalry.
It challenges the very notion of free will within this world, showing how deeply one can be shaped by forces beyond their control. The implicit idea that two identical seeds growing in different environments may not yield the same flowers highlights how their distinct upbringings under different masters had profoundly shaped their contrasting temperaments, philosophies, and approaches to life and martial arts, even as brothers.
Nature versus nurture,
Right.
Wongi style.
Exactly. As dawn broke, signaling the end of the extraordinary night and its revelations, Xiao Donglu offered his final profound insights into the nature of reality and power, lessons Zhao Wuji desperately needed.
As the first light of dawn appeared, painting the sky with soft hues, the fallen trees were swiftly re-erected, and all traces of the night's events, the grand gathering, the high-stakes gambling, the fierce duels, the arrival of the zombie, were meticulously cleaned away.
Like it never happened.
It was as if no one had been there at all, leaving no sign that anything extraordinary had occurred. Xiao Donglu, observing this seamless, impossible restoration, declared with a knowing smile, "There are no miracles in the world. If there are, they are created by humans."
Interesting philosophy. No magic, just effort and resources.
He attributed these seemingly impossible feats to a combination of perseverance, wisdom, ingenuity, rigorous training, and crucially, money, which he called an essential thing. It was a demystification of the fantastical, a grounded philosophy of power.
This profound philosophical conclusion served as a powerful capstone to the night's fantastic events. It deliberately demystified the seemingly supernatural occurrences, firmly attributing them to human planning, immense wealth, and exceptional skill and coordination, rather than divine intervention or magic.
So all that weirdness,
Yeah.
just logistics and money.
According to Xiao Donglu, yes. It offered a grounded and pragmatic perspective on the true nature of power, influence, and the creation of apparent miracles in a world that often leans on the mystical. The swift and complete restoration of the forest, which initially appeared impossible to Zhao Wuji, served as the perfect, tangible example of a man-made miracle, reinforcing the core of Xiao Donglu's philosophy. With enough resources, planning, and dedicated individuals, anything is possible.
A practical kind of power.
Xikong Xiaofeng, ever insightful, added that money, much like a sword, depends on whose hand it is in, implying that its true power and impact are determined by the virtue, skill, or intentions of its wielder, adding a layer of moral complexity to this newfound understanding of wealth.
Money is a tool, for good or ill. With a newfound clarity and renewed purpose, his path forward illuminated by the night's strange encounters, Zhao Wuji prepared to depart. Zhao Wuji, visibly eager to resume his quest, now armed with new knowledge and allies, confirmed his intention to go to Jiwa Mountain, as he had promised to the zombie.
Ready for his death match.
When asked by Xiao Donglu how he would find the zombie in such a vast mountain range, a seemingly impossible task given the zombie's elusive nature, Zhao Wuji replied with newfound strategic insight, echoing Xiao Donglu's own earlier analogy about a mountain not coming to you.
What did he say?
"If I can't find him, I will find a way to make him find me."
Ooh, clever. Turning the tables. This exchange demonstrated Zhao Wuji's remarkable evolution. He was no longer merely impulsive, driven solely by rage. He had learned to leverage opportunities, adapt his approach, and strategically create his own path, seizing control of his destiny.
He's learned a lot in one night.
His willingness to take risks and his understanding that many things in life are like that success often comes from audacity, and cunning indicated a significant maturation and a more calculated approach to his perilous quest for vengeance. He was no longer just a son seeking revenge, but a rising force in the hidden martial world.
Playing the game now.
His final words before leaving hinted at a broader understanding of life's complexities and the necessity of proactive engagement to achieve one's goals. Before Zhao Wuji departed, Xiao Donglu provided him with a final, critically important tool, a direct line to his vast, mysterious power.
After Zhao Wuji had left, Zhao Donglu reflected on Zhao Wuji's intelligence, prompting Xikong Xiaofeng to clarify his initial intention in bringing Zhao Wuji to this unique gathering.
Why did Xikong bring him there?
He admitted he wanted Zhao Wuji to understand the true hidden depths of the martial world before pursuing vengeance. Xikong Xiaofeng confessed that he initially felt he made a mistake by sending him, given Shangguan Ren's seemingly insurmountable elusiveness.
He thought it was hopeless.
However, he then revealed the game-changing factor. Zhao Wuji now knew Xuanyuan Yuguang,
The tracker.
whose ability to find people is #1 in the world.
This was the crucial practical solution to Zhao Wuji's seemingly impossible quest for vengeance. Xuan Yuanyuan, now indebted to Zhao Wuji due to the six-leopard dice roll, represented the key to potentially locating Shangguan Ren, shifting the outlook from hopeless to possible.
The gambler holds the key.
Xikong Xiaofeng emphasized if Xuan Yuanyuan wants to find a person, no matter where that person hides, he will find them. This definitive statement underscored the unparalleled nature of Xuan Yuanyuan's tracking ability, giving Zhao Wuji a powerful, unexpected asset.
An ace up his sleeve.
The final piece of the puzzle was put in place, ensuring Zhao Wuji had the means to pursue his deadly goal, albeit with new, unforeseen risks.
And as a final, powerful piece of assistance, a gesture of implicit alliance, Xiao Donglu took a small golden bell from the armrest of his couch, gleaming richly, and tossed it to Zhao Wuji.
Go golden bell.
He instructed him, "When you need to find me, just strike this golden bell 7 times, 7 chimes each time, and someone will lead you to me." It was a direct, clear instruction for summoning immense unseen power.
A direct line to Xiao Donglu's network.
Zhao Wuji accepted the bell, carefully tucking it away, a tangible link to this enigmatic world. Xiao Donglu then simply wished him luck, a word that resonated with deeper meaning.
This golden bell symbolized the direct, tangible link to Xiao Donglu's vast resources, enigmatic wisdom, and influential network. It signified that Zhao Wuji now possessed a powerful means to summon unseen allies and assistance should he need it, effectively making him an implicit, formidable ally in his quest.
He's not entirely alone now.
The final exchange between Xiao Donglu and Xikong Xiaofeng, debating whether luck is ultimately superior to inherent bravery or wisdom, and Xikong Xiaofeng's lingering expression of worry hinted at the unpredictable dangers still awaiting Zhao Wuji on his quest, a path fraught with both promise and peril. It served as a provocative concluding thought on the unpredictable, often chaotic role of fortune in a world shaped by both human will and unseen forces. Outro.
So what does this all mean? We've journeyed through a truly complex and captivating narrative today, delving into Blade and Coffin, the quest for vengeance.
Quite a ride.
We've seen how one shocking act of vengeance, the headless murder of Zhao Jin, unravels into a vast hidden conspiracy, revealing powerful masters, secret societies, and a world far more complex and interconnected than it initially appeared on the surface.
Layers upon layers.
From the chillingly meticulous escape of Shangguan Ren to the poignant insights gleaned from Wei Fengyang's personal diary, and then into the surreal, philosophical domain of Zhao Donglu and the unsettling zombie, Zhao Wuji has not only uncovered the truth, but has also acquired unlikely, almost mythical allies and faced profound new challenges.
And changed profoundly himself.
Exactly. Evolving from a grief-stricken son to a strategically minded avenger, ready to play his part in this grand, dangerous game.
This raises an important question for us beyond the thrilling plot. How do we in our own lives navigate our personal frames of sorrow or determination, as Xiao Donglu so insightfully put it?
Those invisible frames.
What does it truly mean to pursue a goal, especially when the path ahead is filled with unforeseen turns, elusive adversaries, and profound personal transformation? These intense narratives, even from a fantastical wuxia setting, illuminate our understanding of enduring human struggles, the devastating nature of betrayal, the relentless, all-consuming pursuit of vengeance, the profound concept of resilience in the face of unimaginable loss.
Resilience is key here.
And the often unseen forces, be they power, immense wealth, or profound influence that subtly shape our reality and dictate the actions of others.
Imagine facing an enemy as cunning as Shangguan Ren, capable of vanishing without a trace with an entire household, or discovering allies as profound and powerful as Xiao Donglu, who can reshape landscapes and command absolute loyalty with a mere smile.
It's almost overwhelming to think about.
As Zhao Wuji sets off to Jua Mountain, armed with a powerful golden bell that links him to unimaginable resources, the promise of a deadly confrontation with the zombie, and the knowledge of a peerless tracker now indebted to him, what will you do with the insights and understanding you've gained from today's deep dive?
Yeah, what sticks with you?
What secrets might be hidden in your own world, waiting to be uncovered, and what frames are shaping your own path forward?
Thank you for diving deep with us today, exploring these rich sources. It's been fascinating.
We look forward to seeing you for our next transformative deep dive into new sources and discovering more hidden truths. Until then, stay curious.